Greetings. I'm coming to you on this New Year's Eve, Friday, December 31st, 2021, from a beautiful state park, and I intend to lay down some heavy-hitting truth on you that will help you in life. Knowing this knowledge could have saved me 29 years of effort in the wrong direction. Yeah, as a black man who will be 30 this year, I can say that I've survived America's plot against me. And you're gonna say, "Oh, you're crazy! Like, you know, you racism doesn't exist. There's no plot against you." Well, that's what we're going to be getting into. The title of this presentation is "You Are Black." And forgive me if there are pauses or interruptions, but I find whenever you're laying down hard-hitting truth in public, random people show up around you. It's almost like an Agent Smith effect. Like, they can spiritually sense you're saying something risque, and they just kind of like start stalking you. So if I stop, it means I'm relocating because someone is eavesdropping on my very controversial opinion. So let us begin. You are black. You are black. You may be Ethiopian, Nigerian, or American. You may be Christian or Muslim, rich or poor, educated or uneducated. You could be the color of cherry wood. You could be as dark as ebony. There is one sure common denominator. If you are a male of African descent and can be physically identified as such, you will be treated with disdain, disrespect, disgust, contempt, and finally fear. The degree of this treatment you receive is based on your level of masculinity and self-respect. I repeat, your level of masculinity and degree of respect you have for yourself. Now, there are a class of blacks that would protest to the aforementioned, claiming, well, I have been accepted. Little do they know that they themselves are used as pawns to refute the existence of racism. Now, why have I said all that I have said to this point? Why? Because it absolutely must be said. Modern day blacks are totally unaware that regardless of their personal characteristics, they are persecuted solely on the grounds that they are black, quote unquote black. Blacks believe that by obtaining an education, gaining a respectable career, and displaying a perfect decorum, that they will be accepted by mainstream society. They may be accepted as a pet, or rather as a jester, but they are not respected. This is because most of what they do and most of what they have done is for the validation and approval of others and not themselves, not for their own benefits, but purely so others could approve of them. American blacks seem to have forgotten the most basic laws of primal human nature. A parable I can give is, if a token black was the most capable overall human being in his group of friends, in an objective way. Like, I'm not saying he's better than them because he's black, but I'm saying this guy's tall, he's muscular, he's intelligent, objective, like Madden or NCAA rankings. Like, this player's a 99, this player's an 82. He could not be appointed their leader or have the hottest girl in the group of girls they mess with. It would say too much. And I want to repeat that. If a token black was the most capable overall human being in his group of friends in an objective way, he would not be appointed leader or have the hottest girl. It would say too much. A male from another tribe and lineage cannot, by definition of tribalism and patriarchy, cannot lead them without emasculating himself or them first. Because what that would be saying is my genetics, my masculinity exceeds yours. And humans organize themselves through family, tribes, and whose blood related to you. So if someone from another tribe, another family, another man comes and is better at leading your tribe than yours, what does that say about your very being? The only way you could save face at that point is by getting your sons to marry his daughters so you could get some of their genetics. But the male human nature cannot allow that. On a deep primal genetic, my Y chromosome over your Y chromosome, a human male cannot allow that. So if you really think a country of white men can appoint a masculine, patriarchal, heterosexual black man, principled black man as their leader, that just goes against human nature. It doesn't make any sense. That black man would have to emasculate himself, we'll get into that. What is the highest role a black man can obtain then in mainstream society, given his minority status and America's unique history? What role can a black man obtain given those things? I'll tell you, they can serve the majority in some way, preferably entertain them, tell them jokes, play music, act as a gladiator, or rather an athlete, or they can count beans in some really purposeless, doesn't matter corporate job that really doesn't matter. And he's usually just there as an affirmative action or a tax break for that company, but they don't have him doing anything important, and he doesn't have any power or sway 90% of the time, and he's always easily able to get rid of. And I'll repeat, they don't get policy making positions unless they have been controlled or subdued. So they're only going to give you power if they're sure you won't act in your best interest. They'll give you power if you're going to act in their best interest in spite of yours. That's the only time they will actually give you power in this system. Now let us not get away from the original subject. Anti-black sentiment in the US is pathological and illogical. Racism against blacks is completely illogical. You are hated for being successful, and you are hated for failing. So if you're making $100,000 a year and up, people are gonna, your average working class white man is gonna hate you. He's just gonna look at you and hate you because he's gonna feel like the only reason you got there, given your natural incapabilities, is through affirmative action or the help of society or welfare or all these programs meant to help you, all these imaginary programs meant to help you that really just go to helping women of all races. So it's very important to understand that black people aren't hated because they're stupid or criminal or they have low IQ or they're violent, because there are plenty of white people in small all white towns, and there are plenty of white people in America that are just the same. Black people are hated because they are black, not because of their own personal characteristics. This is something that must absolutely be understood. So I've existed as both poles. I came from a middle class family in the suburbs. You know, I've been around every type of demographic in America. I've been doing very bad and I've been doing very well. And I can tell you that I was treated the same. I was treated the same when I was doing very well and when I was doing very bad. I was treated the same. It's just you're black. There's people that purely hate you purely on the, you know, you're black.